Please subscribe our channel and
Today I am going to explain a film called Black Island. Our movie begins with a young man named Jonas, attending his grandmother's funeral with his parents. The family is distraught as she was murdered by a vicious dog. 4 months later, Jonas's parents are in their car and they're talking about the father's relationship with his father, Frederick. When they see a lady driving in the same direction as them, the father tries to avoid hitting her and he drives into a tree instead. In the following days, Jonas is at his parents' funeral with his friends, Flo, Jewel, and Nina. He is taken over by grief when Nina comforts him. Later at Frederick's house, everyone is gathering to pay respect for the family. Frederick comes up and talks with his grandson. He tells him that he can stay with him in the island till he's 18 and he doesn't have to move to Bavaria with his aunt. Now a year has passed, Jonas is doing better. He catches up with his friends on their bikes and they go to school together. In class, a lady comes through the door and tells the class to follow her outside. Flo and Jonas seem happy following her. She gathers the kids around and tells them that their teacher, Mr. Minnick, had an accident on his vacation in Mallorca, and she will be their German teacher this year. Then she introduces herself as Helena Young. After class, Jonas and Flo are sitting together when Helena comes up to them and asks them if they're free for the night, as she just moved in and needs help with her furniture. Then Nina overhears that and quickly tells her she can help as well. On the way to Helena's house, Jonas, Flo and Nina all meet up together. Helena is upstairs with the boys having fun assembling a closet and Nina is downstairs, cutting the floorboard and struggling with it. Nina walks over to a storage room in the kitchen and finds a suitcase with a tag on it, and it says Mallorca on it. Helena walks in on her and asks her what she's looking for. She responds that she's looking for a piece of wood to help her with the cutting. Helena finds her one and Nina leaves. Helena then notices that she forgot to remove the tag from the suitcase. Upstairs, the boys and Helena are finally done with the closet when Nina walks in with her foot covered in blood. She cut herself trying to cut the floorboard. And Flo takes her to the hospital. Now that everyone has left, Helena goes back to the storage room and tears the tag from the suitcase. Later that night, Helena is sitting at her table with pictures of Jonas everywhere on it. She seems to have stalked him before. She gathers all the pictures and sets fire to them in the sink. The following morning, Jonas sees Helena running across the beach just like him, doing her morning jogging. She then asks him if he and Nina are together and he says no. Later at class, Helena gives the students in her class an assignment to write a poem like the ones Reliki does. After class is over, Nina goes to Jonas' house to help her with the poem. Now at Helena's class, Nina is reciting her poem and Helena realizes that it wasn't her who wrote it. She asks Jonas about it and he admits that it was him. But she tells him she liked it anyways and he's talented, and if he has anything else he would like to show her, she will read it. At Helena's house, she's doing some yard work when she sees Jonas trying to put a package in her mailbox. She runs up to him and takes the package out, and invites him inside so she can read his writings. Then she goes to take a shower and Jonas keeps looking at her through the door. A few hours later, Helena is done with the last paper, and Jonas asks her what does she think. She's so moved by his writing that made her shed a tear. As he's wiping the tears from her eyes, they share a meaningful kiss that quickly turns into something more. The following morning, he meets with Helena on his way to school. And he tells her what they did was wrong. She tells him he's an adult and he can make his own decisions. Nina was standing by when she saw them drive side by side. She becomes skeptical of the teacher. Later at class, Jewel and Nina notice that there's something wrong with their teacher and Jonas and that they're acting weirdly. After class is dismissed, Nina asks to speak with Helena and tells her that Jonas is the one who wrote her poem, as she felt guilty for taking his credit. And when she tells Jonas about it, he tells her that their teacher already knew it anyway. Nina is helping Jonas clean his parents' house. He reminisces about his parents. Full of sadness, he breaks down crying and Nina hugs him. They share a loving kiss and she assures him that he won't lose her like his parents. A day later, the school is holding a small seminar, and Frederick is making his speech when he notices Helena standing in the distance, now with short hair. He looks like he has seen a ghost. He collapses to the ground in shock, and Jonas runs to help him. At Frederick's house, he's now recovering from his fall. Nina then tells Jonas that his grandfather saw Helena and passed out from shock. Confused, Jonas doesn't believe her. Feeling upset, Nina leaves the house in frustration. Later that night, Jonas wakes up to Helena sleeping next to him. She makes out with him and initiates love. When she wakes the following morning, she tries to leave quietly without waking up Jonas. As she's leaving the house, Nina sees her and, angrily, leaves Jonas breakfast on the front porch. A few hours later, Nina is running with Jewel at the beach. She tells her what happened this morning, and also what she saw at the seminar. Jewel then tells her that her dad told her he had a teacher that looked exactly like Helena and she had the same hair as her. At Frederick's house, Jonas is leaving for school when his grandfather tells him not to go. He asks him if this is about his teacher and Frederick brushes it off quickly. He tells him what Nina saw and he tells him that she must be seeing things. He gives him the breakfast that Nina had for him, which makes Jonas realize that Nina saw Helena leave his house in the morning. At school, Nina is now looking for the old school yearbooks. In the library, Nina is going through the books when she finds a picture of Helena with a different name, Maria Roth. They look exactly the same. Helena walks in on Nina and she confronts her. She asks her why did she come to the island. Scared that Nina will tell Jonas, she chokes her out and suffocates her to death. Jonas is outside the library looking for Nina when Helena walks out and tells him she hadn't seen her. He believes her and goes looking for her elsewhere. Helena goes back into the library and tries to hide Nina's body. She then gets a duct tape and a rope, then ties the body with a curtain. She drags her body all the way out to her truck. When she realizes she left Nina's bike, she goes back for it and takes it as well. At the beach, Jonas finds Jewel and Flo. He asks them if they had seen Nina. They tell him she was at school this morning. Meanwhile, Helena is on the other side of the beach, getting rid of Nina's body. Later at Helena's house, she's cutting a powder as she receives a text from Jonas, telling her he wants to meet her as soon as possible. Later, she arrives at Jonas' house, and he tells her that Nina is missing. She tells him that she saw her at the library this morning, and that she is jealous of her relationship with Jonas as she saw her leaving his house. She tells him that they can be friends from now if that's what he wants, but Jonas isn't satisfied with that and kisses her. They spend the night together having intimate time. The following morning, Jonas is woken up by Frederick and he tells him that they found Nina's body at the beach. When they arrive there, Nina's mother is devastated, and Frederick collapses again on the ground and they take him to the hospital. Later at Frederick's house, Jonas and Flo realize that Nina's death wasn't an accident. At the school library, Jewel tells them that the teacher her father had must have been during the years 1984 and 1988. They start to look through the yearbooks when they realize a page is missing from it. Then they search on the school website instead and they find a picture of Frederick with Maria Roth. To their shock, they find out that she drowned 4 years after. Meanwhile, Helena visits Frederick in the hospital and he is terrified. She accuses him of murdering her mother and it's now revealed that Frederick is her father. He didn't want anything to do with her or her mother, so now she's back for revenge. She reminds him that she still has Jonas left, and that she was the one who killed his parents. The following morning, Jonas is woken up by an ambulance delivering his grandfather home, with Helena by his side. He is extremely distrustful now that he knows her secret, and he asks her why is she here. She tells him that she was visiting Frederick when the doctors told her that they will discharge him. He asks her if her mother's name is Maria Roth when Flo calls him. She tells him to answer and that she will tell him everything, and she goes inside to make coffee. She pours the powder in Jonas' cup. Frederick is helpless as she's making him watch from the window. She gives Jonas his coffee and tells him that her mom had an affair with his grandfather, making Helena his aunt. Jonas starts to feel the effect of the drug and passes out. She drags him into the lake and tries to drown him. Jonas, with the last of his energy, hits Helena with a net and starts running back to the house. He finds Frederick on the ground holding the letter that Maria left him with glass shattered everywhere. Helena runs after Jonas and starts to choke him. Before he could run out of breath, he grabs a shard of glass and stabs her in the heart. Helena finally lays dead next to him. A few days later, Jonas is on a ship when he sees a girl with a yellow raincoat like the same one that Helena used to wear. Distraught, he follows the girl around. Turns out it's just a normal girl who asks him if he's from the island. Jonas now rests easy knowing he can start a new chapter of his life, and the movie ends. Please like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.